Hello, 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 humanity. Sorry for the for taking so long for the other sugar-free story, anti-bullying story for children. Um, if you're unfamiliar, once again, just to recap, I have a passion for anti-bullying because my one and only child was bullied as a child. So I decided to incorporate the anti-bullying along with since we're doing the eating lifestyle. I thought how good it would be if we could just get one child to understand at a young age the detriments that what could be detrimental to them eating so much sugar, and to get them to embrace sugar-free products, along with probably still eating sugar, but not to such a large degree. And as we continue our struggle, we're trying to come daily and just share, and just hopefully it can help not only adults but children as well. So this and I did mention yesterday, but I'll re-mention that as well. I'm using the same recipe, as opposed to in the future coming with more no bake sugar free treats that the children can prepare by themselves. But I wouldn't want to give them something that I haven't tried myself. And so thus far, the only thing that I have tried, and tried it over and over and over again, and I know that it does, that it's okay, is the sugar-free candy bar. So I'll just recap that recipe over and over and over again. Sometime I'll just come with a story, and know that you already have the recipe. But I'm thinking now, I'm not real sure that I have the tangible copy of the sugar-free candy bar. So if I don't, I'll upload that as well. But it's real simple. You can, and it's affordable. And the cocoa, which also has medicinal purposes in it. I think it's antimicrobial, antibacterial. It has a lot of medicinal benefits, but of course, there's nothing that you would try without consulting your physician. But the cocoa, I got mine at the Dollar Tree, and I paid $1.25, so it's affordable. You're going to take a fourth of a cup of your unsweetened cocoa, and then you're going to add maybe 3 tablespoons of your, the syrups that you put in your coffee, sugar-free. You can use, I say cheesecake all the time, but there are just tons of varieties. So, the personalization and the customization, that's key. So choose one of the flavors that you think your children will really, really enjoy. I think they have cotton candy, you name it. They have all kinds of flavors, and they're really, really good, and you don't have the aftertaste. So you're going to use 3 tablespoons of the sugar-free a syrup. And like I said, it's a syrup that you put in your coffee, not the syrup that you put on your pancakes. So you'll use 3 tablespoons of that. And we still remember the teaspoon is the smaller of the spoons, and then the tablespoon is the larger of the spoons. So you'll use 3 tablespoons of the sugar-free syrup, and then you'll stir it all together. And when you've come to completion, the chocolate starts out powdery. By the time you add the liquid to it and you stir it over and over and over again, it should have a consistency that looks like chocolate frosting, and then you know that you're there. And so you can add the nuts of your choice, because some people are allergic to various peanuts or whatever. So add the peanuts of your choice. I use crumbled pecans, but you can use walnuts, cashews, peanuts, honey roasted nuts. Just whatever you prefer, and you stir all that together. And then if you find that it's still dry, which I doubt very seriously, but if it's still dry, then you can add just maybe a half a teaspoon more of the sugar-free syrup. But it should definitely, after stirring it at least maybe about 15 times, you should have a creamy consistency, and you'll just form that into a long straight line, which will be the equivalent of a bar. And then you put it in the freezer for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so now with that said, I'm going to give you the quick short story. um, The name of the story is the sugar-free sweet candy with secrets that Jake can't tell. Jake went to the mirror. He could barely see, not because of a lack of light, but because the sun was bursting through his slightly closed window with so much force. The glare was causing him not to be able to get a clear visual of himself. He saw enough, though. Today was a day of change. He didn't know exactly how, but today there must be a change. He was not ready to reveal his secret. Or was he, or was he, or was he the day would certainly make him address the question. Suddenly there was a slight darkness. Sally was knocking on the window. Jake didn't hesitate. His best friend came to his window every Saturday. There was nothing new about that. This Saturday was not different. The two had a new adventure planned for this Saturday. The sun was shining bright and the two were dressed for the experience. The two had on rubber boots. Jake's boots were blue, Sally's boots were orange. The jackets were each purchased by their parents, Mrs. Dublin. She had a factory closeout at her department store there where she worked, and she didn't hesitate. She purchased one jacket for Jake, and then she purchased another for Sally. Sally's dad repaid Mrs. Dublin for Sally's jacket. The jackets looked big, and they resembled that of Bubbles, with a big long zipper straight down the middle. Hey, Jake, did you pack the sandwiches? Did you remember to put one pickle sliced down the middle and just a pinch of mustard? Yes, Sally, all of that. Jake thought it was the most icky thing to put on a sandwich. But what his friend wants, she gets. What what are you waiting for? Let's go. Jake, wait, did you get the extra sweet sugar-free candy? I did. I put extra pecans in both of our bars. I packed them tight in the wrappers. Sally was grinning. She was excited about the shiny wrappers that she herself made and gave to Jake to wrap the sugar-free candy bars in. Bam! Bam! Jake, as well as Sally, they knew. They knew without looking that Bully Kirk was an early riser. Kirk was a bully with a huge sweet tooth. He took lunch money, breakfast money, babysitting money. He bullied the kids out of every ounce of money that they got free for whatever the chore, for whatever the deed. And he bought candy and sweet treats. It did not matter. He had a special way of convincing those that needed convincing. His famous bully move was slapping. Slapping and a quick kick to the knee. He ended it with pulling the hair directly at the top. Most of the children, they cried immediately. Some of them were slow to cry, but no doubt they did cry. No kid as of yet could resist crying. The bravest child started to cry after about 2 minutes of Kirk's bullying. Kirk the bully wore a big cap on his head, turned backwards. He wore a plaid jacket and plaid shirt. He loved plaid. It reminded him of his favorite villains on the cartoon for Villains Only. Kirk loved the mean bullying villains. There were very few bullying slaps and kicks that the villains did that Kirk the bully did not do to the children at the Tulsa Elementary School. Jake and Sally knew all too well how Bully Kirk did his bullying moves. Jake and Sally had a real desire to carry out their Saturday adventure. The kids cafe across just across from the town's bus company. And they were there holding tryouts. The tryouts at the kids cafe were for two things: the fastest bike rider and the funniest short poetry. Both Jake and Sally felt the tryouts were just for them. Jake loved bike racing and Sally wrote funny poetry. Sally told poetry that was so funny but never hurtful. She always makes a poetry about herself, her family, or her pet. And Sally always had a love for poetry, even as a little bitty baby, and she heard her dad reading out poetry to her mom. She loved it even then. But even if Bully Kirk does what he is usually known for, Bullying Kirk does not like bike racing, nor does he like funny poetry. Jake knew that. When he and Sally rode their bikes out of the driveway, Bully Kirk would kick, punch, slap, and demand that they play with him and eat sweet treats until their stomach ached. Jake knew it. Silly games that Sally did not like, Jake certainly did not like and did not want to play with Bully Kirk. Silly games, silly games. What was Jake to do? So far, Jake had been able to keep the bully secret. Jake and Sally told no one, absolutely no one. No one was aware that Jake and Sally were being slapped and kicked and punched and their money taken and forced to eat sweet, sugary treats that made both their stomach and their heads hurt. No one knew how they cried endlessly to just have fun and have a day where no one was kicking them or slapping them or making them feel bad because they had to hold a secret of how awful they were being treated. A different look came to the face of each of Sally and Jake. It was a strange look, as if they knew that something had to change. Jake always thought that it would be worse if they were ever to reveal that they were being bullied. Once Kirk forced Jake and Sally to eat so much sugary, sweet, extra sweet candy, swings, sweet, extra sweet swings was the name of the candy. The sugar was so sweet, so much so that Jake and Sally had stomach and backaches all day long. Jake held his head down for a minute on his bike. He knew, he knew that because because they had to hold the secret, that they really didn't stand a chance of making it to the tryouts. Sally would never get a chance to see the joy of seeing the audience laugh. Jake would never get a chance to feel the wind on his face as his bike went racing down the driveway of the tryouts. Hey, fatheads! The two never looked back. Jake and Sally recognized the voices. It was Bully Kirk. He was standing in the door of the driveway. He stood there in his hugeness in the garage, so huge that he covered the sight of all of Jake's dad's paints and auto parts in the garage. Jake remembered what he felt earlier that day. Early in the morning, he felt like a change needed to happen. A change needed to occur. He was tired of he and his friend being bullied. And he was tired of eating the sugary sweets so much so and getting sugar stomach aches. A change needs to come. No more bullying, no more silly games, no more sugar stomach aches. Sally looked at Jake, and it was as if she was having the same thoughts and the same feelings. Sally, too, was tired. She was tired of being punched and kicked and slapped and having her babysitting money taken away. Babysitting money to get her bubblegum lip gloss and her bubblegum, if you may, bubblegum purses and uh, shoes, sugar-free shoes. She was just tired of not having to take her money, her babysitting money, and do what she pleased, but yet being bullied and having her money taken away from her, and then forced to eat icky things and play silly games. Jake and Sally said softly, "We can't continue being bullied. We can't continue eating sugar and getting sick and getting stomach aches. Jake, I really want to go and make the kids laugh with my poetry." Jake grew inside. He grew inside and he grew inside. It felt as though Jake had grew 20 inches. He became a giant on the inside. Jake became strong enough, just strong enough to go and tell his dad the bully secret. Yes, the bully secret would be a secret no more. And just like that, Jake and Sally's dad and Kirk's dad put the bullying to an end. The bully secret was no secret anymore. Because the bullying was no more, Jake's courage to tell his dad was the change that Jake and Sally needed. Jake and Sally went to the tryouts and both won. The end.